got what we've been waiting on after Camp Kool-Aid the last couple of days at Derby. We got some heat today. It was just what we needed. We needed a day where at some point, the wall was going to show up. We'll see kind of how the guys will push through. It's incredibly competitive. I don't know, we probably had 120 plays or so. It was a lot. We got a lot of special teams work, a lot of good on good, mixed it up a little bit as well, and really did everything today except 2 minutes. And we'll hit that again on Monday and then again on Wednesday in our second scrimmage. But, the biggest thing I'd say is just really competitive. There were some big plays on both sides. Kind of a carryover from what I've seen in practice each day, from just, again, a competition standpoint. So defense really started really well, didn't finish as well. Offense had a few plays, and we get a fumble, we get a pick, didn't finish a couple drives. Then I thought they finished well in practice, but and everything in between, just overall very competitive day. It wasn't a day where one side dominated. And usually that's the case when you come out in these first scrimmages. It's usually, kind of one side kind of wins the day after, we've been together all day, every day for 11 days. So I thought the guys responded pretty good, and nothing I'm really disappointed in other than just had a couple of critical penalties out in space that negated a couple of big plays, a couple of illegal substitutions. Those are things that really cost you big time. You jump off side. We're not lined up properly on the field goal. We make the field goal, so that's got to come off because we're not all the way up on the line of scrimmage. But as far as just kind of what I call football penalties, it was actually a pretty clean day. But losing the Clemson penalties, we had a few too many of those that we had to clean up. I had the ACC officials out here today, so that was really good for all of us, for coaches and players. And these are critical days when you only get 2 preseason games, if you will. 3 weeks from tomorrow we'll be heading up to Duke. So it's going to come fast, and we got one more preseason game, and then still have a little competitive work. But a week from Monday we'll start really turning the page to just our opponent prep.
With Hunter, his sprained foot out the next 2 or 3 weeks, I guess.
I know he's out. He'll be back. It's all intact. It's not anything an next long term or anything like that.
Do you think CV is at a point where he's ready to be the backup if needed?
No, I think Paul Tyson is needed to be the backup right now. And CV is coming. But Paul's a 5th-year guy. He's got a lot of knowledge. 3 years in Alabama, a year at Arizona State. He's been exposed to a lot. He would. Just knowledge-wise, kind of be the bridge guy right now. But CB definitely, if we had some type of long-term deal, then yeah. Something happened to Cade or something like that, then then that changes everything when it comes to CB. But just as a next guy, what we're trying to do, that's what we brought Paul here for. Because we want to try to hold CB if we can. So. It would probably take something that happened to Cade to change that. We feel good about Hunter. We feel good about Paul. Paul, I didn't get to see him, in the spring. And, he's a very knowledgeable guy. He doesn't run quite like, he and Hunter are similar. He doesn't run like Cade, he doesn't run like CB. But, he's got a good understanding. He knows when to get near the ball. Just real good command of what we're doing. So he's really guy we got. And I'll tell you, Trent Pierman, he probably had the best drive of the day today. I thought he really kind of sparked the offense. And he's just a kid that's got some moxie. That's the best thing I can say. He's just got a little moxie. He's got a little just gamesmanship to him, and you just kind of go, well, there's Pierman. He just makes some plays. He did that all through high school. But he's getting better. So we'll get Hunter back sooner than later. And I hate Hunter's not healthy because I really want to see him and Paul kind of compete. But it's also been good because Hunter got the spring, Paul didn't. So now Paul's been able to get all this work so that we hopefully can come out of this thing feeling really good about those 3 guys with our plan of trying to hold CB. Again, something happened to Cade that would that probably changed things.
How did Cade perform today?
Did good. He had one bad play, and it was really more, I'd say, a good play by the defense. They had a great call on his own blitz, and he just didn't see the end drop it. Didn't got him one. But man, Cade did a nice day. You know, he's just very steady, man. He's a high energy guy, and you always feel like you got a chance when he's out there in the field. Made some beautiful throws, some really beautiful throws. Made a couple of nice plays where he extended the play. He's in a really good place generally. So and physically, but you know, he certainly had a couple he'd like to have back. But overall, a solid first day.
Your Woods was dominant today. It wasn't swinging.
I don't think so. I think it was competitive on both sides. You know, the guy to me today was Xavier Thomas. He was a problem. Which that's good to see. He had a Maskell. So Maskell made a couple of plays, flash. You know, we held Root today. He'll probably scrimmage on Wednesday. You know, we got some guys that have played a lot of snaps. We played Putnam, but we limited his reps today. Some of our high career snap guys, you know, we try to be smart with those guys. You know, between this day and Wednesday. So Rook will get a lot of work on Wednesday. Tyler Davis will probably drink a lot of Gatorade. So we're just kind of mixing and matching a little bit from the vet standpoint. Some of these guys, you know, that I know are ready to go play. You know, we've got them enough work, enough live work to make sure they're sharp. But we've got a lot of guys. We only take 80 to do, so we got a lot of guys we've got to really evaluate and make some decisions on.
Special teams, Robert Gunn.
Robert was awesome. He's been great all week. I mean, he hit one yesterday that was to win the national championship. That was we didn't even have goalposts. So I said we got to kick it over to the camera guy in the tower, and the camera guy in the tower couldn't even touch it. It went over his head, right over the middle of the tower. It was unbelievable. Good from 70. So starting to gain some confidence. Be surprised if we line up for 70 at some point. I mean, it's amazing. He hit one from 60 today, and really kind of sparked it. So he's had a really good camp. He's in a really good spot. Really pleased with just our whole battery and the operation right there. It's starting to really settle in. And then actually, Aiden's leg is a little sore last day, so we actually held him today, which is also good. He's had a good camp and really gave Jack some more work, and I'm pleased with Jack. And he and Brody, both those guys. You know, Brody's starting to come on, and we got a little competition there, so it's good to see a third guy kind of emerge. And, but man, I'm pleased with Jack. I mean, I think he's going to be a really good one. So he got a chance to get most of the work today, and kind of Aiden had that day as well.
How about Cole Turner today?
Really good. Huge play down the sideline. I had 2 or 3. I think he was the lead receiver. Maybe him and Brenny. He had about 4 catches or so. I think I had him at 3 catches. We spread the ball really all over. We had a bunch of guys touch it, which is going to happen in what we're doing. I mean, a lot of people are going to touch the ball. Biggest thing with Cole is I want him to be a difference maker without the ball. You know, I mean, you got to impact. If you're going to be a great wideout, you got to impact the game when you don't have the ball. He missed a big block, and on the screen, and got a guy blowing up, and then Bo had a hold in on a huge play by Maffa. Noble had a hold in on a touchdown by Dominique. And so those are losing the Clemson type plays. You know, so things we can clean up. Again, you know, we got to get our job done without the ball as well. But, you know, first scrimmage again is the opportunity for study tape, learn from it.
Did those freshman receivers stand out in the first round?
Same guys. I mean, you know, Noble, Tink, and Tyler are really in a good spot. Ronan has flashed. He's made some really good competitive plays. But he's probably got the most to learn. You know, and he's at his position. But I feel really good about the progress Noble's made. He's had a couple of pretty good days together. They can slow it down because you know I've heard me say. I mean it's Bo, it's Antonio, it's Adam and Cole, and it's Speck. You know, those are 5 guys that we feel like we can go play anybody with. And so it's about, really developing some elite depth after that, and hopefully not having to start any of these guys, which we ended up having to do the last couple of years. We had to start Bo before he was, really ready to start. We had to start Antonio. We've had to do that a little bit with injuries and stuff. So hopefully we can stay healthy and really, bring these guys along at the proper pace and develop some elite depth. And Tyler Brown had a big play today. Myson is just a natural football. He's balling. Kid's a baller. He's got no fear. I'm really glad we got those two kids. And then Noble is a big body dude that has made progress since the spring. But again, we don't have to start those guys right now. And so we just need them to really develop into the depth players that we need, and then hopefully, if we need them mid-season or later, they'll be ready for more. So not disappointed with anybody. It's a really good group, and then maybe we'll get Stellato out there next week. Who knows? Let me tell you, that kid can play. I'm tired of talking about it. He can play. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of he's got to be on the field. He can't play for him on the field. And it's not that he doesn't want to be on the field. It's just it's been a rough couple of years for him. But hopefully he's back sooner than later, and he can compete. If he gets back, he can compete with anybody out there. So that's a positive. But as far as kind of that core group, really good spot, chemistry-wise, knowledge-wise, and I think heading in the right direction.
Is Spector back practicing? So he's in yellow. Spec.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's in yellow.
Gotcha.
He got a quad contusion, got hit right in the thigh, so he's been nursing that this past week.